It was the final NXT, the go home NXT before Stand and Deliver. But unfortunately, this show failed to stand and it definitely failed to deliver. Welcome back, guys, to Fog Wrestling to review NXT, the 28th of March 2023, the last NXT before WrestleMania 39, and more importantly, I guess, from an NXT standpoint, before Stand and Deliver. Now, we kicked off the show with a Battle Royal. Now, I normally like Battle Royal matches. Battle Royal matches back in the day were always cool, they were always fun. However, I like Battle Royal matches that actually matter. Battle Royal matches that actually had stars in them. Like, I remember SmackDown doing a bunch for the world title. Kurt Angle won one of them. Kali won one of them. I remember Raw doing like a battle royal, and I can't remember, but there was a lot of like top guys in it. It might have been for a spot in the chamber or something like that, and that was a really cool one. Of course, we had the ECW, SmackDown, Raw battle royal as well over the years. The one where Big Show, ripped off. That was pretty cool, I guess. There has been numerous good battle royals with high stakes. However, this battle royal, let's be honest, 80%, and I'm being generous, 80% of this roster is just bombs that we don't care for. Let's be real. You had Nathan Fraser, D-Jack, Jinder Mahal, Cheyenne Quinn, Dabakata, Scripps, Apollo Crews, Axiom, Dante Chen, Damon Kemp, Charlie Dempsey, Drew Gulak, Idris Enoff, Malik Blade, Odyssey Jones, Bryson Montana, Quincy Elliott, Xavier Bernal, Oro Mensa, and Hank Walker. These guys, a lot of these guys are going nowhere, honestly. Just get them off the TV screen. You can tell if someone's got potential. And the likes of Hank Walker, what is this guy's purpose? He comes out, his gimmick was he used to be a referee, now he wants to be a wrestler. Well, go back to refereeing, mate, because you're not very good at wrestling. Anyway, the match at the end, it comes... D-Jack, for some reason, was eliminated extremely early. I don't know why. This D-Jack guy, he looks the ticket. He looks the real deal. This D-Jack guy, in my opinion, should be a champion. Whether it be North American or the NXT champion, this guy should have a long title run and just demolish every single challenger. But he gets thrown over the top rope here by some big black guy. I don't even know who the black guy is. It might be Idris Enoff, or maybe it's Odyssey Jones. Who cares at the end of the day? Then D-Jack pulls him out, throws him into steel steps. There's some collision because the steel steps actually went quite far away. We come down to Nathan Fraser. We come down to Axiom and somebody else. I think it's Axiom. We'll go with Axiom. They eliminate the other guy who I think it might have been Drew Gulak, honestly, man. Oh, it was Charlie Dempsey. Another boring bum that will fucking go nowhere. Let's be real. Right. Here's honestly, this is the deal. See everyone in this battle royal. How many people in this battle royal can you see potentially one day being a WWE champion? I think that's how you weed out who's got potential and who's not. And you've got to be kidding yourself if you say Charlie Dempsey can one day be a WWE champion, or fucking someone like Xavier Bernal can one day main event wrestle. It's not happening. It's not happening. I like D-Jack. I think he's got potential. Out of this roster, out of this battle royal, that's probably it. You look at Braun Breaker. He's the NXT champion, but you can obviously see when he does lose that belt, he's going to go onto the main roster, and he's someone that you can definitely see being a world champ someday. I think the same about Grayson Waller. I think the same about Carmelo Hayes. I think the same about D-Jack. I think the same about Tony D'Angelo. But the problem is, there's a handful of guys in NXT that have got a lot of potential, but there's a lot more people in NXT that have got pretty much zero potential. And I don't know, they're just dragging the rest of the roster down quite a bit. So a lot of these people in this battle royal could be released tomorrow. Honestly, wouldn't care. Axiom beats Nathan Fraser. Bit of a weird one. I thought Nathan Fraser would have won, but nah, Axiom got the victory. So, it is what it is. Then we had Pretty Deadly throughout the night. They were hyping up matches for Stand and Deliver. I'm not going to go over every single one, but they were incredibly gay. Let's put it that way, man. Elton John and whatever the other bum boy's called, I know it's a gimmick, and I think I don't know if it's similar to Billy and Chuck, where, we're thinking that they're gay, but they're not gay, and maybe one day they'll like be like, "What the hell are you talking about?" I don't know if they're going to do something like that. I don't think they will though, because I think the Billy and Chuck thing back then, I think they were all almost like, making fun of the situation. Whereas I believe if WWE done something similar with these two, you would have the LGBTQ plus whatever, letters. They would be complaining and they'd be, oh, WWE made light, WWE made fun, WWE treated gayness as a comical situation. So something like that would probably happen. So I don't think we'll get that. But they're fairy camp. They are fairy camp. And that was that. They did say that Tiffany Stratton is the third best person dressed in NXT. I'm assuming they're the first two. So, although they probably prefer each other undressed, so I mean, who knows? They probably don't look at each other in clothes that often. We got Andrew Chase doing a little Chase U hype up with Tyler Bate. Then we get Tyler Bate versus Von Wagner. Tyler Bate beats Von Wagner. Like, I'm not a massive fan of Von Wagner. In fact, I'm not even a fan. I said that as if I kind of like him, but I don't. Whereas I just don't like him at all. But, I mean, this guy, look, it's weird. Von Wagner, he kind of gets pushed, then he gets jobbed out, essentially. Then they'll start pushing him again. And it's like, come on, how's a guy this size losing to Tyler Bate? It just makes no sense to me. But he did lose, and yep, that's it for him. We have after that, by the way, the Schism came out and looked at Chase U. If anybody cares, the Schism, the Schism's garbage, man. Chase U versus the Schism. Not looking forward to that Stand and Deliver at all. Then we have a promo with Kiana James and Fallon Henley. James is hesitant, and she says she feels terrible. She feels terrible that Jensen and Brooks aren't on Stand and Deliver. She says she got them a match tonight, and if they win, they'll be added to the triple threat at Stand and Deliver. Jensen and Briggs are thrilled, but Henley's upset with James and can't stand her for not coming clean. I guess they're still going on about James having a boyfriend or whatever, but I don't know. I mean, the feud ain't really doing much for me, I'll be honest. I don't really care. Okay, up next we get Roxanne Perez. She's in Shawn Michaels' office and she's talking about anxiety and depression and how she had a panic attack and that's what's wrong with her. The doctor says it's never going to go away. She's always going to have anxiety. And then Shawn Michaels is like, oh, that's okay. You can overcome it. It's good to have you back. Roxanne talks about Stand and Deliver. Shawn Michaels is like, hey, Roxanne, you can't face it, Stand and Deliver. You can't defend your title. You're not ready for a ladder match. Roxanne's like, I have to be ready. Michaels is like, there'll be loads more Stand and Delivers. Then Roxanne Perez is like, did you have that attitude back in the day? Could you have just skipped the WrestleMania because there would be loads more? Roxanne Perez is like, there might not be loads more. This could be my one and only chance. Shawn Michaels is like, you can't wrestle at Stand and Deliver because, like me, you lost your smile. And it was a very weird promo. They were like, I felt like they were pushing mental health and anxiety and like depression and pushing everything here that doesn't really matter in wrestling. I mean, they should have just come out and said Roxanne Perez lost her smile. They should have just ripped off Shawn Michaels. Why not? It would have been kind of funny. They didn't do that. And then Shawn Michaels was like, you know what? You're right. You deserve a chance to defend your championship. So he adds her to the match. And now we've got 6 women in this matchup. Then we got Elektra Lopez versus Valentina Feroz. Elektra Lopez won with a quick squash. Then we got a debut of Eddie Thorpe versus Mile Bourne. Again, just jobbers everywhere. Eddie Thorpe wins. I mean, I wish I knew who Eddie Thorpe was. Well, I don't really care, actually. I don't give a shit if I don't know who he is. But it's like, who are these new people? Why are they just putting new people on random matches? And I'm sitting here thinking, who the hell is this guy? He had his entrance looked pretty cool for the first 3 seconds. But then he came out and he just looked like some bland jobber, and it's like, wow. The entrance looked pretty good for a couple of seconds. But then you see the person coming out and you're like, damn it. Show me the entrance again. Show me the Titantron. Then we got Last Chance Qualifier. For the NXT Women's Ladder title match, it was Indy Hartwell versus Ivy Nile versus Sol Ruka. Indy Hartwell gets the win. I mean, I guess it was an okay match. She beats Ivy Nile. Ivy Nile, what's the fucking point of Ivy Nile? All she does is lose. So Ruka, she's very athletic. She can do some acrobatic stuff. Like, it does impress me at times when I see her do this stuff. Indy Hartwell celebrating, and then we have some weird thing where all the women in the match, they come out from the crowd and they're looking at her, and then Roxanne Perez comes out and she's like standing on the podium above everyone else with her belt with this little stupid smile on her face. Oh, I don't understand this whole she fainted gimmick. I don't know where they're going with it. It hasn't impressed me whatsoever. Just to bring her back and put her in the match after all, it's like, the tease that she'll have to fake it and that there'll be a new champion, and then all of a sudden she just comes back on the final show and talks about depression and gets added to the match. It's like, what the hell? Why doesn't Shawn Michaels should just come out, sweet chin music, all 5 women, apart from Tiffany, and give her the belt. That's what should happen, because she's a step above everyone else. I think Tiffany will win it, stand and deliver, and it would be damn near criminal if she doesn't. Look, nothing against Roxanne Perez, but she is extremely boring. She has no character. I mean, she might be okay in the ring or whatever, and she might only be 21, and she might be able to improve. But what is her gimmick? Oh, I'm a small 4'11" chick. That's it. After that, what has she got? She's got nothing. So yeah, I mean, whatever. Then we got a Prime Target preview. This was basically a hype package video with Carmelo Hayes and Braun Breaker. I don't understand this. Why couldn't they just have these two on the show tonight? Why couldn't they have these two have a confrontation live on the show? Why are they doing a stupid promo package? They did this on Raw with multiple people. It's like, it's the last show before the big pay-per-view. Surely all your top people should be on the show live. But building, adding further fuel to the feud, fuel to the fire. But they don't do it. They're just showing highlights and they're showing promo packages, and it's like, what the hell is this, man? Honestly, I didn't think it was very good. Definitely should have done more. Considering this is the world title match at Stand and Deliver, they should have done more here. We've got Drew Gulak versus Hank Walker. Honestly, who gives a shit? Drew Gulak won. Dempsey came out and hit Walker with a cheap shot, so yeah, you go. Walker got screwed. Tony D'Angelo and Stax beat Brooke Jensen and Josh Briggs. So yeah, there you go. Is what it is. I think Henley and Kiana James arguing kind of put the brothers, or put them off a little bit, and that's how Stax and Tony D got the win. So there you go. Tony D and Stax win, and this means that Briggs and Jensen will not be added to the match. So whatever, no big loss. And then Kiana James and Henley are in the ring. Henley is on the mic. She tells James to go ahead and tell Jensen what she's been hiding. And James says that Henley is right. She does have something to say, but rather than just tell Jensen, she wants to show her instead. Then James goes up, grabs Jensen, gives him a huge kiss. The fans are popping. Henley's still not happy. And I guess Henley has proof. I don't know, does Henley have proof? I maybe missed an episode of NXT. I don't know if she has proof or not, but who knows? Is Kiana, first of all, is Kiana James cheating? Well, I mean, is she even cheating, or even an item? Probably not. But I mean, let's be real. Does anybody really care if she does have a boyfriend, or if she is married, or whatever? I don't think anyone really. I don't think it would bother any. It's not like, the Edge, Lita, Matt Hardy storyline where it actually fucking mattered and it felt big and it felt real. I mean, this doesn't feel anything, so who cares? And then in the main event with Grayson Waller, he's in the ring, he's got security. Johnny Gargano's music plays. And I'm looking at security and I'm just thinking, look, these guys look way too big. There's no way Johnny Gargano is dressed as a member of security, because Johnny Gargano's a fucking midget and you would tell if he was in security. So he's not there. It turns out he is the cameraman. So Johnny Gargano takes about 10 years to get the cameraman uniform off him. And then they start brawling. They throw about 2 punches before security break it up. And that's pretty much it. They look at each other. They try and get to each other again. And NXT Stand and Deliver goes off with security holding back both Johnny Gargano and Grayson Waller. So there you go. That was it, guys. That's your go-home show. Again, very poor in my opinion. In terms of the women's match, the women's title match, pretty much no build. All we got was Roxanne Perez coming back. There was no heat. There was no There was no like rivalry between the other women involved. The same with the NXT North American Championship match. There was nothing. We found out who the next and final competitor was going to be, and then that was it. The other people came out and just looked at each other. So for the NXT ladder match, or whatever it is, I don't even know if it is a ladder match, but the NXT North American Championship, you just had people looking at each other. The Women's Championship, you just had people looking at each other. The Schism just came out and looked at fucking Chase University. Braun Breaker wasn't even there. Braun Breaker and Carmelo Hayes didn't even interact with each other. And then in the main event, you got a couple of punches between Johnny Gargano, who nobody gives a shit because he's about 4 foot tall and no personality and boring as fuck, and Grayson Waller, who just kind of like stood there and ate a couple of punches for Johnny Gargano. I mean, the build-up here has been absolutely terrible. Whether it's Triple H, whether it's Shawn Michaels, even if it's Vincent Kennedy McMahon, this absolutely sucks. This is the final go-home show before the pay-per-view, and it was goddamn awful. It was awful. I mean, how the hell are you not trying to like further add rivalry to these matches? It makes no sense to me. This would be, I mean, back in the day, they always used like the last show before WrestleMania to like fucking push the envelope, and if they thought the rivalry was like heated, if they thought the rivalry was like an 8 out of 10, you could guarantee the final show before the pay-per-view, they would do whatever they could do to get that rivalry right to the top, to make that rivalry a 10 out of 10, so by the time you got to WrestleMania or whatever, you knew you needed to see that. I mean, why would anybody really care about Stand and Deliver here? What has happened on this show to make you go, fuck, I need to see Stand and Deliver. I need to sign up and subscribe to the network to watch Stand and Deliver. What happened tonight for people to do it? Nothing. Nothing happened. If anything, you're considering, do I really need the network? Would I rather my $9.99? Should I go and cancel? That's the questions I'm asking. I'm not thinking here, oh, network's great, I can't wait for Saturday. No, bullshit. And it's the same with Raw. You know, Raw, a lot of the feuds they didn't even promote, and then the ones that they did done a really poor job of it. You know, Bianca Belair and Asuka, not even there. Cena, not even there. Who else? You'd Reigns, not even there. Brock Lesnar did turn up, hit almost with a couple of shoulder blocks, then bailed at the ring and looked at him. You know, just garbage. Edge and Finn Balor. Edge wasn't there. Finn Balor did a pre-tape. I mean, it's like, where is the rivalries? Logan Paul wasn't there. Seth Rollins essentially just got the crowd to sing along. I mean, this build-up, this WrestleMania / Stand and Deliver build-up has been nothing short, guys, of absolute atrocious. And people can defend Triple H if they want, but honestly, these shows fucking suck. For me, this is getting a 1 out of 10, and that's been very generous because there wasn't really much on the show I liked, but we did get to see Shawn Michaels, the Heartbreak Kid, Mr. WrestleMania, and I would pay money for it. If I could invent a time machine just to stick Shawn Michaels in it to make wrestling great again, I would. Because honestly, man, watching wrestling at the moment is fucking sad, it's pathetic, it's not very good, and I miss the Heartbreak Kid. But anyway, guys, that's it. 1 out of 10. Stand and Deliver this Saturday. Loads of content coming to the channel. Stand and Deliver, WrestleMania, Night 1, Night 2. Got another SmackDown to go. Unfortunately, there's also AEW. There'll be more wrestling news. And of course, WWE 2K23 is just out. There'll be lots of content on that. And who knows, AEW Fighting Forever. Fighting Forever, what? AEW Fight Forever. Looks like possibly the worst, not even wrestling game, it looks like the worst video game I've ever seen. But if it ever does come out, if it eventually makes its way to the shelves, if AEW can, you know, put the embarrassment to one side and actually release the game, then who knows, we might even see that on the channel as well. Anyway, guys, that's it. 1 out of 10. Till next time, peace.